All right, so today we have solving equations by factoring. When we solve equations by factoring, we're going to take advantage of the zero product property. The zero product property says if I multiply two things together and it equals zero, then A and or B would equal zero. So if we're solving quadratics to get a solution, quadratic means we have a square term, we're going to get the equation equal to zero. So in example number 1, it's already equal to 0. So we're done. Second step is factor. So x squared minus x minus 6 factors to x minus 3 times x plus 2. And the third step would be set each factor equal to 0. And solve. So if I multiply this by this and it equals 0, then that means that either x minus 3 has to equal 0 or x plus 2 has to equal 0. So x equals 3 or x equals a negative 2. That's my solution. Number 2. It's already equal to 0, but I'm going to multiply everything by 6 to clear the fractions, which will give me 3x cubed minus 5x squared minus 2x equals 0. So it's equal to 0. My fractions are cleared. I'm going to pull out the GCF. GCF is going to be x. That trinomial factors to, should be left out the 3. That factors to 3x plus 1 and x minus 2. So now I got 1, 2, 3 factors that are being multiplied together. So if any one of them equals 0, the whole thing is 0. So I can say x equals 0, 3x plus 1 is equal to 0, or x minus 2 is equal to 0. So x equals 0, x equals a negative 1/3, or x equals 2. Those would be the answers that would give my equation to be true. Number 3, I need to get it equal to 0, so I'm going to move this over. 100x squared minus 500x. Factor out 100x. I got x minus 5. So x equals 0, or x minus 5 is equal to 0. On number 4, I need to get it equal to 0 first. I got to move this over. And I'm going to have x squared plus 3x plus 2 minus 12. I went ahead and multiplied that together. Combine my like terms. X squared plus 3x minus 10 is equal to 0. I'll need to factor that. X plus 5, x minus 2. So x is equal to a negative 5 or a positive 2. Number 5. I got 4 terms, so I look at the first 2 together and the second 2 together. First 2 I can pull out an x squared, and I got x plus 5 minus 4 times x plus 5. Pull out the GCF of x plus 5. This factors as x plus 2, x minus 2. So x could equal a negative 5 or a plus or minus 2. On 6, I need to multiply this side, move everything over to that side, Factor and solve for x. 3x squared minus 11x minus 4 is equal to x squared minus 9. Move things over. 2x squared minus 11x plus 5 is equal to 0. That's going to factor to 2x minus 1 and x minus 5. So x is equal to 1/2 or 5. If I have a function, I'm going to find the values for x for which f of x is equal to 0. I'm going to set this equal to 0, which means I have x minus 5/2 times x minus 5/2 equals 0. So that means x is equal to 5/2. I got a formula h equals vt minus 16t squared, where h is the height, v is the velocity, feet per second. If an object is shot upward in the air with initial velocity of 80, so we got the ground, goes up, comes back down. What time will it reach a height of 64? So if this is 64, I got two different times when my object is going to be 64 feet above the ground. So then I'm going to set the height equal to 64. And they tell me that the velocity is 80 feet. So 80 t minus 16 t squared. I got a quadratic. I want my square term to be positive. So I'm going to move this over and this over. You get 16 t squared minus 80t plus 64 is equal to 0. Divide everything by 16. T squared minus 5t plus 4 is equal to 0. Factor it to t minus 4, t minus 1. So t is equal to 4 or 1. So at 1 second, it's going to be 64 feet above the ground. At 64 feet, it would take it 4 seconds till it goes up and then comes back down. Your homework, if you have questions, hit me up on Google Chat.